So, this is I'm gonna have problems here. So, the last this video on a fan fiction reading was originally going to be by the Third Crow, but I may have taken slightly too long to read everything, and the recording thing crashed a little bit. So, yeah. Although I am kind of glad that it did, because I didn't really want to read the disgusting stuff that was in there. So we will be removing it for probably the second time. And moving down to... God damn it. Fuck. God. Stupid. I have to say a few words about this one fan fiction right here. Fuck this story. What would you do if you broke the heart of your high school sweetheart after being together for 10 years? Would you run from your problems or try to right them? Or would you hope that an airplane in the night sky would grant you your wish of winning her heart back? Warning, trigger alert. Yes, very. Bumblebee, Blackfire, don't read. Yeah, I get it. So it is 12 parts, and technically it's not complete, but I didn't finish reading this, because this is the most stupidly depressing fanfiction I've ever read. And this one was one of the ones that I had actually originally wanted to do specifically a review on, because I didn't want to read this piece of garbage again. But then I was like, oh, reviewing is dumb. But anyways, I wanted to, after the last one, Diner Dash by Kyle Wagner, my original plan was to do By the Third Crow, and then there were a couple other Kyle Wagner ones, so I kind of slipped them under because I didn't, or slipped them further in the list. And this one was next. So I will just stop now and move along. So this story, I will say, has a few problems. As you can see, this is the beginning of one of them. It's that the author puts generally kind of funny author's notes in between all of the super sad story, which technically makes it, it's raises your spirits a little bit, but it's still just this is not the time to be making these jokes. What is wrong with you? This is such a depressing story. Hey y'all, I'm back with another Bumblebee story, or another story this time. It's a Bumblebee. Or the Transformer? No, the ship. There's a ship? Yang X Blake from RWBY. Well, as Laura tries to remember mine, her, and Lauren's OTP, that's really sad. Let's continue with the story. Disclaimer, RWBY is not and never will be mine, despite my desperate emails to Rooster Teeth. Oh! Blackfire. Sigh. A young man sighs as he sits in the slightly noisy airport at 2 o'clock in the morning. Usually this airport is full of life and people, those leaving and coming, all for different reasons. It was quite a sight. But at this time of the night, there was rarely anyone coming to the airport unless they were trying to run away from their problems or running into the arms of them. This, however, makes the young man wonder why the beautiful blonde that doesn't look older than 25 years be at this airport at this time of night. The man runs a rough, calloused hand through his short, messy brown hair, contemplating on moving the few seats over to talk to the girl. Figuring he didn't have anything to really lose, he moved 2 seats over before he was in front of the supposedly sleeping blonde. He opens his mouth to address her, but the girl beats him to it. What is it, stalker boy? He looks surprised, not even guessing that she had saw him staring at her. What? Surprised I noticed you staring at me? Well, don't be. And don't get your hopes up. I'm not joining you in the Mile High Club. You're not my type, so beat it. His mouth is agape. How did she know he was there? She was not only laying lengthwise, occupying about 4 seats with her head resting on her carry-on, but her eyes were closed. He blushes when what she says catches up with him, and that's not what I wanted to ask you, ma'am. I don't like women like that. The blonde coughs, opening her eyes, revealing deep pools of lilac that look like they have seen more bloodshed and death than most veterans in their lifetime. She gives him an incredulous glare. So you decided to creepily stare at me for the past 5 minutes, walk over here, and strike up a conversation despite me being a complete stranger. You really expect me to believe bullshit like that? She shakes her head and closes her eyes. I might be a blonde, but I'm not stupid. The young man sighs. I was only wanting to know why a girl your age would be at an airport at 2 a.m. There are really only two types of people here. The ones running from their problems and the ones running straight into their problems' arms, she interrupts. The blonde cracks one eye open and observes the man across from her, messy brown hair, tired blue eyes, wrinkled black t-shirt, torn and faded blue jeans, and dirty combat boots. One, I'm actually only 31 years old. Two, which one are you? The young man shrugs, probably running. I'm getting divorced and moving in with my boyfriend who lives in Vale. The woman opens her eyes and narrows them in suspicion. You're really gay, not just acting like it. He nods and shuffles around in his carry-on bag before he pulls out a worn wallet. He opens it and points to a single picture in it. A young man with greenish whitish colored mohawk and blue eyes in a black button up and slacks. That handsome man there is my boyfriend, or he says is my boyfriend Russell. The man closes his wallet and puts it away before he faces the blonde again. My name is Alonzo. Now why are you here? The blonde's lilac eyes search Alonzo's face before she closes them and chuckles. Ruby owes me $50. New Russell Thrush totally loved the rainbow. As the commercial says, kiss the rainbow, taste the rainbow, she laughs. Oh boy. Alonzo scratches the back of his neck. I think that's a Skittle commercial. Blonde reopens her eyes and stares at the ceiling. Why am I here? Alonzo nods. I'm here so that I can right a wrong that needed to be fixed a long time ago, 2 years to be exact. She then looks at Alonzo, determination firing brightly in those wise eyes. My name is Yang Xiaolong, and I'm going to save someone's life. So what do you think? Whose life is she going to save, and why is Xiaolong so old? 1, you'll have to wait to find out, and 2, 31 is not old. Jeez, Laura. Whatever, and I can't wait till you update. Laura, we live in the same house. Chill, anyways. Like, comment, don't you tell me to chill. You chill. What did I do to deserve this? Jesus Christ. And, yeah, she's like, oh, I don't know, something. She's asking why airplanes, and you'll understand later. Now, this is where the depressing part starts, so be ready to be super triggered. A young cat faunus with long black hair spits the pills into the sink, wiping furiously at her mouth to get rid of the horrid taste. She catches a glimpse at herself in the mirror and stares at herself. Pitiful. She thinks to herself, that's what I am. Her amber eyes sharpen and glare at the woman in the mirror. Dark circles under her eyes from lack of sleep. Her cheeks, eyes, everything shows the signs of malnutrition. Her bony fingers brushes her paper-thin hair out of her eyes. Her eyes then roam across her face in confusion. Where was she? What happened to her? What time is it? She closes her eyes, the image of herself ingrained into her brain. She walks out of the bathroom and into her room. She notices that her room was pitch black, the only light coming from the bathroom. Her night vision, however, allows her to see perfectly. She glances to the left and sees her scroll on top of her bedside table. It read 2:56 a.m., September 9th, 2029. She sighs. Another night of pain and torment awaits her. She sits on her bed and decides to listen to her therapist when this happens to her. Only think about the simple things in life. My name is Blake Belladonna. I'm 31 years old. I live in Vale. I have had a girlfriend. Her name was Yang Xiaolong. We broke up 2 years ago because of an argument. Yang is a sister. Her name is Ruby Rose. She's married to Wei Shni. Wei Shni owns the Shni Dust Company after her father passed. They have a son. His name is Gray Shni. A sharp pain shoots through her lower abdomen into her chest, causing her to grip the fabric of her black yukata tightly and heave. Damn it, she thinks, not now. This can't happen right now. She moves to stand, but ends up crumbling to the floor. The sharp pain starts to burn, and she cries out, even though she knows no one will make it in time to help her. Blake holds the tears at bay as she looks out the window of her apartment to see the starless and moonless pitch-black sky. As black starts to fill her vision, she catches a glimpse of an airplane as she vaguely remembers a song she and Yang used to sing whenever they would lay on the roof of Beacon at Stargaze. As she allows her darkness of exhaustion to finally take her, she softly sings a few verses she can remember. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. That was actually kind of depressing. I want to know why my favorite RWBY character is so depressed. Why? Whatever. Just gonna move on. I don't care. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, this song. So again, we have another song, and it's still pretty depressing. The last song, extremely depressing as well, like when putting with this, and this will be as well very depressing. Yang sighed as she leaned back in her chair. 5-hour flight, huh? She whispers to herself. Might as well get comfortable. Reaching into her carry-on, Yang pulled out her scroll and her headphones. A thumb runs across the leather as the blonde baller smiles forlornly at them, remembering when she received them as a present from her girlfriend at the time, 3 years ago. Yang looks down at the box in yellow and black wrapping paper in yellow and black wrapping paper in her hands. What's with a sudden urge to give me something? Is it a cat thing? Blake rolled her eyes before looking at her girlfriend who was sitting next to her on the bed in their recently bought new home. She smirks, so my girlfriend can buy me nice things randomly, but I can't? What kind of cruel ruler are you? Yang sticks her tongue out at Blake in a very mature manner. This causes the fondest smirk to grow in mischief. Put that tongue back in your mouth before I put it to use. Oh, Jesus. Yang looks up at the ceiling in thought, contemplating disobeying her girlfriend, but remembers the last time she had stuck out her tongue. That evil dominatrix named Blake Belladonna made her lick a shirt. It stank and it had suspicious stains on it that neither of them owned. Jesus. Yang wisely puts her tongue back in her mouth and starts to remove the wrapping paper by ripping it off in excitement. After throwing the lid from the box, her eyes turn bright in excitement at the yellow and black headphones that rest in it. Kitten, you shouldn't have, Blake shrugs. I remember you wanting these when we were shopping for groceries a couple months ago. I saved up some money from the jobs I've had recently and decided to get you a gift. Just because. Present. Yang sighs in the memory, remembering how happy life was when she was with the faunus who had stolen her heart. Her cat burglar. She places the headphones and scrolled through her playlist before finding the song she was searching for. She chuckles. When Blake had made me listen to this band, I was not expecting to like them. The blonde thinks to herself, the band name Brats isn't a very good name for people to start listening to them, but their stuff is good and inspiring. No wonder Blake likes them. Pressing play on the song of her choice, Yang relaxed into her seat, reminiscing on when she had first heard this song 6 years ago. Come on, Yang, you forced me to listen to your favorite bands. Now I'm politely asking you to listen to mine. Yang scoffs. I did not force you. Blake's deadpan face was the answer enough. Yang sighed, fine. The blonde pushed a button on her scroll and watched her girlfriend's face switch from annoyance to trying to decide between anxious and excited. The song begins with a calming guitar solo. When we met, I knew then there was something cool about you. I already liked the song. Hush, Yang. Even though some of my friends didn't notice at all. Well, how could they not notice my awesomeness? Yang, sorry. Uh, you and me are alone. Took a walk and started talking. We would have probably done more than that. Blake gives Yang an exasperated look. What is true? We stayed out all night counting all the stars. Yang, don't even think about it. What a remnant are you talking about, kid? I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. Yang opens her mouth. No. Yang closes her mouth. They all fade away when it's just me and you. Ah, you do care. Whoever said I didn't. When it's more than a crush and a possible rush, I could. Yang, slow, no, it. Blake tackles Yang on the ground, silencing everything else the blonde had to say, but with a hand placed firmly on her mouth. I don't care what they say when you're there. I don't care. And I think I'm just going to skip most of this because it's really dumb. It's really dumb. Oh my god. Okay. And, And then, of course, at the end of this chapter, behind closed lids, Liang was only able to see glowing amber eyes of her black cat, or her who she loved with every fiber of her being. Blake Belladonna, who only had, at most, one more month to live. Wah, wah, wah. And next, my demons. Oh boy. The first thing Blake is aware of when she wakes up is the music. Her alarm is a song that she believes goes perfectly with her health and state of mind. It's the reason barely anyone comes and visits her anymore, the reason Yang left. And then it goes through a really depressing song that I only assume is called My Demons. Okay. I don't remember. Okay. With the last bits of strength she has, Blake hurls the scroll at the wall, cracking it and shattering her last means of communication. Every time she hears that, I'm guessing, demon song, it reminds her of the karaoke night that Juniper and Ruby had during their last few nights at Beacon. It reminds her of the time she thought Adam was finally gone and she could live happily. It reminds her of Yang, of the love in her eyes whenever their eyes would meet. It changed, not for the better. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Blake knocks her only lamp onto the floor in a fit of rage, shattering it. Her eyes seem to ignite as she growls. Why did it have to be her? Why couldn't it have been Adam who was stabbed by that Goliath's tusk? Why couldn't it have been him who was in surgery for 10 hours? Why couldn't it have been him who was in a coma for 16 months? Why couldn't it have been him Sinner tried to finally put in the grave? Why couldn't it have been him whose heart isn't strong enough for everyday activities? Why couldn't it have been him Roman poisoned? Why her? Tears stream down Blake's face uncontrollably. Why? She doesn't know why, but her eyes find themselves locked into the only window of her small apartment. She notices that the sun is at its highest. What time is it, she wonders. How long have I been out? She shuffles over slowly to her shattered scroll and notices that it still works. Picking it up, she notices that she's been out for a day and a half. She sighs and tosses the scroll onto her nightstand before lying face down on her bed, sleep coming to her easily for once. Now, I'm pretty sure I have read slightly further than this, but I don't want to go on. I will tell you that Ruby comes over to Blake's house and is like, hey, Blake, you want stuff? And it really doesn't end up going very well. And I didn't finish the story because I was getting stupidly depressed over this, and I just don't care anymore. But, you know, basically, I believe this is when, okay. Oh, yeah. Weiss also calls Yang, and then Ruby goes over to the house. Actually, I don't know if it's in... I don't know, whatever. But I mean, let's look at the chapters. So with me, I'm guessing these are all just, yeah, these are all just song titles, whatever. So if you really want to be super depressed, read Airplanes by BlackBlazeRose, and just, or just don't be depressed, because that would be preferable. I didn't finish it, so I don't know how it ends, and I honestly do not care. I have read a lot of these types, well, not really these types, but just a lot of like RWBY fanfiction and stuff like that, and I've been like, okay, I really want to know how this ends. And this one I was just like, I don't want to know how it ends. So next time we'll come back with something a little bit less depressing. Well, actually, I'm not too sure because I don't quite remember. Well, I don't know. We'll figure out next time. Before this crashes, I'm done.